Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today we're going to look at an athlete from Slowtwitch, Fubar44, who posted their video and is asking for some help. So here's what the first thing we want to look at is, the first thing we want to look at is body position. So we can see right here, you can see what that angle is. It's pretty apparent. So all of that becomes drag that they're pulling against. It also, the one thing you want to be aware of, so watch how that hand enters like that. So you can see that orientation is there. Okay, so it's changing those angles of the shoulder on the water because all of this is not higher. So then the front part of the stroke is just going to be pressing down on the pull. When, he could be setting the catch and then pulling himself forward a little bit sooner. What he's doing is pressing down right here, which is then going to lift the head and shoulders up and make the hips and feet more likely to sink. So, some of this is, technique, obviously, but some of it is just fitness and conditioning in the water. And, typically when we see this kind of angle in the water, it's always an indication that it's two things. So it's either the core isn't engaged enough to bring the whole body up on the water, so you're not long on the water, and or the legs aren't as neuromuscularly connected to that core as they could be. Or it's a combination of those two things that are preventing the athlete from getting up on the water. If that's the case, then you just need to get in the water and swim more. Or, with a lot of this stuff where you, as a triathlete, where you can handle it better is get in the weight room. Get a really good strength and conditioning program that is specific to swimming or triathlon. Those two are actually fairly complementary with one another. And get it where you are being forced to drive that connection and build that strength and repetition in that chain over and over and over again. Because like right here, that gap between the top of the butt and the water line, for him, that's probably about somewhere in the 10 to 15 second 100 range. So if that came up, he was able to get that up, he'd be 10 to 15 seconds 100 faster on that alone. So as we go forward a little bit, and I'm going to show you kind of some other areas where I think, it's more strength and conditioning related to what's going on than it is technique. So you can see here when he starts to pull, see how the hand really starts coming up and he gets really, really close to his body right here on the pull. So the hand is coming way up here. So that's a way just to kind of, if you're holding too much, if you're starting to basically hold too much pressure on the water, it's a way to kind of dump some pressure where, before the chain just really starts breaking down. So then you can see as he pushes through here, you can see the hand is kind of turning out. So he's not pushing the water straight back. Some of it's kind of going out to the side. I've been seeing this kind of more and more. I've got some of those swim sensors that have come out, and you can see where the power is being directed, or the propulsion is being directed. And, typically I'm seeing this more and more where, it shows up fairly significantly in the data, where if you want a graph that would typically look like this, so you're coming up and then down in the power curve, what you'll see is it'll go like this with the data. So, this gap right here is where there's been a significant drop in power. And it's always been where it looks like where the hand is turning out like that. And it's just a way to drop pressure off that whole chain up and down the body where you can't hold it. You don't have enough strength to hold that pressure on the hand of the water. Because look, it's really, really simple. It's pressure is propulsion. And, here you can see again, the elbow's dropped on the left side. Here, the hand is totally turned in. So, he's not even really grabbing the water at that point to pull. And then the hand kind of, it looks like it's pressing out. And if you kind of back it up and we'll slow it down, you'll be able to see kind of a little where it looks like the hand kind of shakes back and forth. That's, again, dumping pressure, just to make it where you can get the hand through the water, because there's just not enough strength there. Let's see here. This looks pretty good. I think if he maybe not looking straight down, but maybe more like here, this would help kind of put the neck more in a little bit more of a neutral position. But that would be something kind of down the line. I don't think it's terribly important right now. But you can see just where, he's having to lift up the head just to get the breath. And then it looks like, yeah. So here's another thing. You can see kind of just a little bit here, and that means the other foot's somewhere kind of like over in here. It's not even on the screen. But the fact that we can see basically the whole side of his body right here, he's rotating way, way, way onto the side, which is creating a lot of instability. That's what this is kind of compensating for, this scissor kick in the back. But what you want to pay attention to is what that hand is doing. And that hand is way away from midline. So there's not much leverage out there for the hand. So he can't get a lot of grab on the water. There's not much water to grab. Then he's creating a lot of, instability in the stroke. And the one thing you want to remember is, doesn't matter the sport, cycling, swimming, running, basketball, baseball, an athlete's ability to generate force is only as good as the amount of stability that they have. So if they're unstable, their amount of force that they can generate won't be as high. And so, when you see this, where he's lifting himself up and then turning way onto the side to get the breath, he's creating an incredible amount of instability in the stroke, that, is making it where he's just not going to, he's creating more drag, and he's not going to be able to generate as much force. Let's see if we can see anything different on this other side. So here's on the other stroke coming back. Yeah, I mean, he's got a decent rhythm to the stroke, and here we can see, the head looks pretty good here. That's decent. But again, you can see kind of press. Doesn't really start pulling forward till right about there. So from there to there, it's all just pressed down on the water, which is going to, again, lift the head and shoulders up. Feet, hips are going to sink. And then on the left side, it's kind of even worse. You can see, it's really that elbow drop at the start. Hand is way above all that. And then there's that kind of pause in the stroke. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, what I would say is he just needs to swim more consistently to start out with, and just get in the weight room, swim more, and then start really worrying about technique. But right now, there's not a lot of the technique that he can get to, because there's, just not enough strength to do it at this point in the water specific to the movement. So, as always, thank you for tuning in. And, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. All those things are really helpful for the channel to help us continue to deliver content to you. So, again, thanks.